If you had to write an autobiography, what characters would you add? Would you add your failures, your shortcomings? Would you talk about where you started, even though it seems so far from where you are today?
Got your first trout.
Would you talk about your friends? All of them?
Well, Maui is finally onto a fish.
Or just the ones that changed your life in a significant way? When would you talk about your greatest achievement?
Got it?
Would you talk about your lowest lows and your highest highs?
I handle throw up every single night. You freaking open up that worm jar, man.
What was your favorite
I think
part?
that was a good idea. So,
June 3rd, 2009,
4,000.
4,576 days ago,
Not as beautiful colors.
I started my YouTube channel.
Nice tail, look at that. Hey guys, welcome to Get Real Bass Fishing. We're here at Northwood Lake.
We now have roughly 2 million views.
It's not big. It's pretty nice bass.
780 total videos, 500 of them public.
Hey Dad.
16,122 subscribers.
I think he's dead. His eyes have blood coming out of him.
That's almost 25 new people a week watching my life. That's roughly one video every 6 days. I remember fishing at the golf course with my dad in the early spring, throwing storm subworts and slaying pre-spawn bass. I don't have that bait anymore. If I did, I'd probably be the best fisherman around.
The biggest fish I've ever caught here on the smallest lure. So
I remember the times we went out for my birthday in the canoe, in some skinny water, casting little black curly tail zoom worms in the lilies and catching fish all day long. There's the times when Johnny and I went to Pennsylvania with Brian and were catching beautiful perch, big largemouth, and beautiful chain pickerel. And we did that a lot. That time Charlie and I went out with Brian and I caught my biggest bass on Long Island at the time. And I was wearing a cowboy hat and Charlie caught his first pickerel.
Pickerel.
your first pickerel?
Yes.
Cool. Smile.
Pickerel.
Okay, let's have a toad on your hand.
My dad, Johnny, and I went hiking in the Adirondacks and caught trout in Marcy Dam. That place is now a trickling creek due to Hurricane Sandy. Can't fish there no more.
All right.
Oh, Charlie just got a nice fish. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that.
I remember that time my family was fishing at Lake Colby and Charlie caught a fish all by himself on a homemade lure. I snatched it away from him for a picture.
Smile, Charlie.
Lift it up.
Charlie, smile.
Lift it up. With the pole.
With the pole.
And that time I caught my biggest Pennsylvania bass at the time, the morning after one of the craziest thunderstorms I'd ever witnessed. That entire night I was watching Bassmaster reruns on my laptop. Then there's that time where my dad caught a bass on a skippy fish while out on my annual birthday canoe trip to the Lilies. No one could catch a fish on that bait except for my dad. We have the times where I took my best friends out fishing. Richie and I went out early spring to catch some bass and pickerel at one of my favorite early spring spots. Josh and I blew up a piñata for 3,000 subscribers.
We did it! Get that! Fish. Oh shoot, dude! It's a freaking 5! It's a freaking 5!
I caught a 5-pound bass in the dead of winter with Brian. That moment changed our outlook on fishing forever. set up a hammock and caught a fish while sitting in it. Richie and I were planning a spring fishing trip, and while on the way, my Dakota's belt blew apart and we had to get towed off of the LIE. We waited for a tow truck, got back to my place, loaded up his Jeep, and drove out of our way to our fishing spot. That day, we snorkeled the lake and caught fish while we were underwater. I've caught sharks on bass fishing gear.
Pulled that one.
Not ready to come in.
Yo. My friends and I got attacked by birds while fishing.
Oh, holy crap! Oh, don't do anything, don't do anything. Holy crap! Oh my gosh.
I remember when Jared, Josh, and I and Johnny, we were out on a frozen river by our cabin, and my mom saw a koi wolf by our cabin.
Well guys, put it this way. Yesterday I was complaining about the cold. I was talking about how it was hot.
Yo, Ma just said there's a wolf.
Yo, there's a coyote. Look at him. Right into the bush. Dude, that was insane, dude.
I met Ralph in the dead of winter and took him fishing after a blizzard, where he caught his first Long Island bass.
There you go.
Here we go. That's so cool. Congratulations. I don't feel as bad. Alrighty, switch release. There we go. Officially part of the game.
Jared and I have driven 8 hours in an attempt to get spring turkeys that only led to a sliced off tip of my thumb and some great memories.
Big fish.
One of the most memorable fish catches of my life was when we were upstate with my family, stopped off at a random lake, and I was using ultralight gear and caught my biggest pike ever.
He's running. I'm serious. All right, heart's racing, heart's racing. He's just running the entire shoreline. Oh! A massive pike. Holy crap.
We certainly cannot forget about the first time I went to Alaska with Josh and Richie. We climbed so many mountains, but one of my favorite was one that we climbed on the summer solstice. It was by far one of the most beautiful views of that trip. And I even found a geocache on the ridge. I remember catching my first striper. Or should I say stripers?
I got two?
With Brian on a cool foggy spring
stripers?
day. I was not expecting a striper, let alone two. I targeted these fish for years and could never connect, but this day, I finally did.
So this is actually my first striped bass from the surf, right there. Dude.
I went back to Alaska for a second time, this time with Jared for Richie's wedding. We saw so many beautiful views. Too many stories from that trip alone to even share in this video. I'll link that video below. I had an amazing time upstate with Richie and his dad in 2019, and we caught so many smallies.
Yeah, dude. That's why I said it looks so sexy.
Release.
Oh god, yeah.
It's a little bit bigger than 2. That was probably the best smallie fishing I ever experienced. Richie caught some nice ones too.
Nice.
So did his dad. I had a piece of rebar go through my leg at Montauk in the fall with Mikey.
We gotta go. Get the stuff. We gotta go.
Would this be the first fish of the year for you?
In 2 years.
2 years. Oh my gosh. Oh. Freed and I went last minute spring striper fishing right before a thunderstorm. A storm that made us run off the beach in fear of getting struck.
Come on, baby! Oh, wait! Oh, wait, come
There
on,
we
baby.
go!
Come on, baby!
Pull him up, pull him up!
That'll do, bro.
Dude, it's a nice one on a popper too.
Samson and I walked miles to have one of the best bluefish days of our lives. If we only knew it was gonna get better and better. My dad and I decided one day to drill some holes in a teaspoon and connected some hooks to it. I caught a 10-pound bluefish on my first cast.
I got one! Holy crap! I got one on a spoon!
First cast teaspoon. Look at the size of this. Look how thick he is. Holy crap. Oh my gosh, on a spoon.
Your father's gonna wig.
Brian and I did a last minute change to our fishing trip one morning. Ended up catching my biggest bluefish ever during a foggy, no visibility spring morning.
Oh boys, this is my new PB. Again, this is the 4th time in like a week. Look at this bad boy. It's freaking huge. Here, Brian, hold him.
And we can't forget about the greatest catch. I met my beautiful wife while fishing in Montauk. We fished almost every day that year, and literally, I mean every day. We fished and camped at Montauk a bunch of times too. We went upstate with my family, and Erica caught her first and beautifully sized smallmouth bass.
Bring him up, bring him up. Oh my gosh, that's a good one.
Nice.
Do you have a picture?
Yep. Yep. Nice, dude.
Wow, my first smallmouth.
Erica and I made a last-minute trip to LBI, New Jersey. Ended up fishing with Greg from Fisherman's Headquarters, and he put me on my biggest striped bass ever. The crazy story about that is we had to hand line that beast in because it broke the anti-reverse of the reel. It spun up, fouled up the line to where it wouldn't even crank.
What the heck? We just hand-lined that in. What the heck? That's my biggest server ever. Look at this skin. Wow. Look at that. Holy, it's insane, bro.
I proposed to Erica in Montauk on December 15th, 6 months after we first met, in the same place we first met. My dad and I went out for our first trip of the year, this time on the beach instead of the lilies chasing largemouth bass. Erica and I chased bass all spring, finally resulting in Erica landing a 52-inch tank in the freezing, pouring rain in the middle of the night. The day finally came that Erica and I got married, and we honeymooned in Florida for 6 weeks. We caught flounder, big Florida bass, snook, peacock bass, and so much more.
That is an incredible fish.
We caught blackfish for the first time in the early fall days here on Long Island.
Come on, dude.
And I caught a big old bass on some light tackle. I was fishing with my dad, snagging bunker, and had a surprise bass join that party. And then all of a sudden I hook up to a little striper. There are so many stories weaved in between the ones I mentioned. Stories I never want to forget. Stories I've shared for the last 4,576 days. And there are so many more to come. The road to 1,000 videos, 100,000 subscribers, here we come. And as always, thanks for watching. Stay real, smooch and release,
Same thing.
have some
all
fun
day.
on the
That is
water.
a solid fatty.
I'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Get it close. Alright. Measure it. 14.
14, another
I think
14.
this is 15, but this is a nice 3 pound. Not, it's got to be 3 pounds. Alright, it's good.
Excellent fish. Go ahead.